Opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's
A lot of people have smartphone data. What is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed.
I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right?
That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that, on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually
Unlimited.
Unlimited data.
Mm-hmm.
I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's why my thought process on it.
I just think that's ignorant. Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I'm hearing a lot.
Ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You're judging somebody, but you're judging them because they black, saying that they don't got it.
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, "Can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are?" Are you
Love
cool?
showing my ID.
You got no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if, when you go to vote, if they say, "Can we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are?" Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you have to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote?
Nah.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Whoa, welcome to the Ish Show. Oh, the people. Jesus. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday, everybody. This is our lunchtime chat. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna just get right into it. White liberal fatigue is just as prevalent and real as black fatigue. And you know what makes it worse? That a lot of the people in this piece here that I just showed vote for the very people who think they're stupid. Oh, good cheese and bread. And I just want to be clear. This is not an indictment of every white liberal known to man. I get it. There's levels to this ish. I have white liberal friends, and none of them think that the color of my skin is a disability. So it's not all white liberals, but it is enough for it to be annoying as hell. It is enough to hear people with their vocal fry talking about shit that they have no idea about, but I'm just going to say it because it's politically expedient and correct. But I'll say this. If the shoe fits, steal it. Period. Dot. I'm not just brown skin. I'm not just the civil rights movement. I'm not just slavery and Jim Crow and black codes and I'm not lynching. I'm more than that stuff. You know what's really freaky? I don't have to consult the color of my skin to make every damn choice in life. Well, you know how this gonna look as a black man in America. Could you imagine every time you got to make a decision, you got to consult your race or the color of your skin? Or how it might be perceived or how somebody might receive it. People speaking at you like you are a simpleton who don't know what's good for you because they know what's best from outside the club. I mean, speaking to me like I'm still in bondage. Speaking to us like we're still in bondage. Speaking to black folks, period, that are still, even the dumb ones who still vote for Democrats in bulk. It's annoying. It's frustrating. You know, it's even more frustrating because a lot of these white liberals that confront me on social media would never confront me in person. Ever. They would never do it. They would never have the balls to say the things that they've said to me in my DMs, in my live streams. They would never, ever, ever do that in 3D. Ever. And I blame a lot of the black liberals because y'all let them get away with a lot of stuff. I think it was yesterday. I was in was it Lumberjacks Live? I think it was. White woman comes in, chastising. You could tell if we was in person, her finger be in my face, she'd be wagging it. And I'm like, first of all, you're doing this because we in this setting. Number two, you would never go into a black liberal space and speak to them like this. Because you know when they speak to them, you know, the tone is different. They're massaging them. Because you know you got to make them feel good. You got to make black people think they got the upper hand here, knowing damn well they don't. Oh, well, you know, you're suffering. Your blackness is this disability. Niggas about to start collecting Social Security for having brown skin. Oh, wait, what's the disability, right? Is that what it's called? It's called disability, right? I think. Yeah, they about to start collecting. And you know the funny, you know, and then you have the black liberals who literally are using the very racial epithets that were used against black people, period, because you don't agree with another person who happens to have the same skin tone as you. So the assumption is you hate yourself. The assumption is you're a sellout. The assumption is you want to distance yourself from anything black. No. It's not about distancing ourselves from black. I'll speak for myself. It's about distancing myself from stupidity. Like I say all the time, most of my life is black. Most of the people I know is black. Most people I associate with, most of my friends are black. My life is pretty damn black. The difference is There's nobody in my life doing mediocre stuff. There's nobody in my life making excuses for why something ain't working out and using the color of their skin and historical hurts as a crutch. That's the difference. You can find a group of folks who are cool and empowered and ready to go and ready to do things. But let me tell you what bondage is. Bondage is waking up every day and believing that the color of your skin is a handicap. Living in historical hurts and allowing people to exploit them for profit and political power. That is bondage. Black people who have a block of votes that could crash the Democrat Party and have been used and abused for the last 60 plus years. That's y'all. That ain't me. How that me? Ha ha ha. Bondage is never trying because you listen to people who've never accomplished a damn thing in their lives. You allow these people to discourage your dreams, to make a mockery of who you are and what you stand for. But they ain't been off the block, but they could tell you about the whole world, but ain't been nowhere, done a damn thing productive. Isn't that interesting? And then you allow these white liberals to come in and treat you like pets, because that's how they treat y'all. They treat y'all like stray animals. They come in, they pet you, and if you get a little aggravated at something, they they don't really give a fuck. You know what they care about? Power. They still have power over you. I've said this a million times, and I'll say a lot of things a million times more. If you can't change your mind, you don't have real power. If Stacey Abrams' fat ass got skinny tomorrow and decided this Democrat thing isn't working for me, her ass will be in jail the following week. Oh, y'all remember the stuff they found? You remember the stuff Doge found? The Doge found some stuff on Stacey Abrams. Oh, yeah. But she's still playing the game. Y'all saw what happened to Eric Adams. He didn't even do anything drastic. Mayor Eric Adams, all he said was, this illegal thing is getting out of control. These illegal immigrants are literally sucking the budget up for New York City. We can't do this. And that man was probably indicted within a couple of months, right? Wasn't he? Do you think he would have ever been indicted if he had just shut the hell up and took the illegals in and allowed the budget to go all whack so you can now raise everything in New York City even more, even though people are now brought to their knees and can barely afford to get around the city, let alone enjoy the city? Ooh, I do not miss that New York City hamster wheel of working 7 days a week just for the necessities. That's what it's like to be an average person in New York City. You literally working just for the necessities. 7 days a week I was working, and I was making damn good money and still couldn't keep it together. But let's get back to bondage. Bondage is not having the courage to fight for what's yours. To tell somebody to kiss your ass no matter who they are. You better ask these white conservatives who've tried me. I don't give a damn if you black or white or conservative or liberal, independent, voted for Trump, voted for Kamala. I don't give a damn what you do. If it's kiss my ass, it's kiss my ass. That's it. I'm not bucking. I don't have to beg anybody for anything. I'm building it my damn self. Oh, the bondage and doing it for yourself. That's definitely, massa material right there. I'm definitely placating the massa doing that, right? Bondage is allowing all the ways something won't work outweigh your potential. You'll talk yourself out of it every time. Oh, well, I really want to start that business, but most businesses fail within the first 5 years. And what I'm doing is a luxury item, and I may not be able to get the loans that I need at first. And how am I going to build it? I mean, every excuse that you could think of, you have made. You've tried the racism bit, it don't work. You see all of these successful black people running around here, and you sitting up here making excuses. Like there's only room for 2 black people in success. Oh my God, God forbid. No, not even successful black people are going to hand it to you. You have to work for it. Newsflash. It ain't going to fall out the sky. Even successful black people know that. And a lot of them will tell you, you have to be a different version of yourself to make it happen. But y'all sit up here listening to these white liberals treating y'all like rescue animals on a wee pad in a damn shelter. That's how they treat y'all. And y'all allow it. Y'all allow yourselves to be treated like subhumans, like you can't do it. Y'all can't tell me shit. Speaking to me in slave lingo. That's white liberals. That's black liberals. That's people, period. You talking to me like I'm a slave. No, you the slave, motherfucker. You still believe in massa in the field and the house. That ain't my mentality. That's yours. Who the hell goes through life? Oh, am I a house Negro or a field Negro? How about this? You are a free man in 2025. Act like it. You are free men talking like you are still property. But AJ's the problem. Black conservatives are the problem. Black people who don't co-sign your foo-la-la. I was going to say another word. Thank God I caught it. I'm trying to work on the cursing thing, y'all. I'm trying to work on it. Won't co-sign your foo-la-la. But they're the problem. I'm the problem. Candace Owens is the problem. Brandon Tatum is the problem. Ben Carson is the problem. Sorry, Dr. Ben Carson is the problem. Condoleezza Rice is the problem. Y'all remember when Coleman Hughes was on The View and Sonny Holston, her ignorant ass, says to him, yeah, I think you're being used as a prop for the right. And he's like, I've never voted for a Republican in my life. So what are you talking about? And let's be clear, by every metric, I should be a liberal. I am born and raised in New York City. By every metric, I should be out here with pink hair, screaming my rights are being stripped from me. I mean, that's all you really need to say. That I'm from New York City. I mean, people just understand the politics of New York City, the image of New York City, the way the city leans socially. You pretty much, you don't have to say much after that. But there are conservative New Yorkers. They just don't. They're not very vocal and they don't really care. They just go about their lives and you see how they move. And now looking back at my days in corporate America, I can see who the conservatives were. I can really see who they were by the way they approached me in the workplace. They weren't talking to me about social issues and some dumb Negro that got offed by the cops because he did something stupid. That's not what they're talking to me about. They're talking to me about career advancement. They're talking to me about how to show up. They're talking to me about work ethic. They're the ones doing those little, I don't know if y'all have ever worked in corporate, but sometimes you'll have a person who wants to bring like a group of people together to mentor them. Yeah. So now I knew who the conservatives were. So obvious now. I was oblivious to it then. But I could never be a liberal because I asked too many damn questions. And you really want to know what freed me? I love to read and explore. And growing up in the projects, our projects was right across the street from Lincoln Center. So that's New York City. Lincoln Center is like the premier arts con for the opera, for the ballets, for jazz, all of the high society art is across the street at Lincoln Center. Also across the street were $1 million condominiums. So I saw people with stuff. I saw people with the cars that were warmed up in the winter way before they got downstairs and cooled down in the summer before they got down there. Tailored suits, fur coats, doormen, assistants, nannies. Right there in 3D. So I didn't have to dream about it. I'd have to fantasize about it. It was literally right there. My only question was, why not me? Mind you, I'm like maybe 9, 10 years old at this point. So why the hell not me? Why do I have to settle for scraps and being talked at like I'm some farm animal? Why do I have to settle for that? Why do I have to wait for a white liberal to sweep into town and declare that I'm special? You're special. You're really smart. We want to take you under our. Why do I have to wait for that? I already know that I'm smart. I already know that I'm special in some ways. Why do I need you to validate that? Now, there's a difference between someone giving you an opportunity because they see potential and someone treating you like a damn farm animal, because the person who's giving you an opportunity on potential knows you're not going to be there forever. And they're not going to throw it in your face every 3 seconds. Oh, I helped you out. I put you on. I got you in the door. No. They get you in the door and the rest is up to you. Isn't that an interesting concept? I'm going to play one of my favorite people. And actually, we're going to do a special episode on Trifecta Hour next week on El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, a.k.a. Malcolm X. But he's talked about white liberals, white conservatives a lot. But this is one of my favorite moments. Check it out.
Fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro. They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals.
Preach. Well, I don't know what all that is, but and I thought I had a different version of this. This is what happens when you don't have a producer. But so I'm gonna give you some modern day examples of what Malcolm X was talking about in the 60s. Malcolm X was dead long before I was born. So how did he, before social media, before cell phones, before all of the things we take for granted today, he had the foresight to know who was scamming the black community and why, and was able to articulate it so wonderfully. And y'all still, for 60 years after that, shat on his name. My favorite Malcolm X speech, we'll talk about this on Trifecta Hour next week, is the Ballad or the Bullet. That was the first Malcolm X speech I ever heard. That was long before I heard, was it before I saw the Malcolm X movie? I know it was before I read his autobiography. I don't know if it was before or after the movie, but it was probably after, because it was a MP3. It was like the LimeWire, very early days of, like, before the Apple Store. So yeah, it had to have been after the movie, because I think the movie came out in the early 90s. And I remember getting that MP3 and just listening to it. It was just random. I just randomly listened to it. The Ballad of the Bullet. Okay, what does this mean? And I'm listening to this speech and I'm like, he's not sitting up here saying, he's not telling you who to vote for, like what political party. He's telling you to be smart about the choice you make and the people you put in charge of your communities. And if these people you put in charge of your communities don't do what you need them to do, then you vote their asses out. You don't keep them there for 30 years, Maxine Waters. You don't keep them there till they're about to drop dead, Nancy Pelosi. You don't keep these people in your backyard, sending them to Washington to represent you only to do nothing every election cycle. Name one bill Maxine Waters sponsored that passed through the House and the Senate that actually became a law, that actually helped your black asses in Compton out, which is part of her district. But I'll tell you this, Maxine Waters' daughter didn't go to Crenshaw High. Maxine Waters' daughter is not walking them nasty, crusty streets down in Watts. She ain't doing that. Her daughter went to the best of the best of the best of the best. Had the best life, the best lifestyle, the best education, the best schools, the best connections. And what do y'all get? The scraps. So back to what Malcolm X was talking about. These leaders who pose as your friends. So I did a little research, because that's what AJ does. So I looked up the 10 poorest cities in the United States. Here they go. Springfield, Massachusetts, number 10. Number 9, Birmingham, Alabama. Number 8, Syracuse, New York. Number 7, Jackson, Mississippi. Number 6, Newark, New Jersey. Number 5, Rochester, New York. Number 4, Hartford, Connecticut. Number 3, Dayton, Ohio. Number 2, Cleveland, Ohio. And the number 1 city, the brokest mofos in this country per capita, Detroit, Michigan. Now let's go to the top 5 of this list. The top 5 of this list. The last time Rochester had a Republican mayor, 1973, 51 years ago. Hartford, Connecticut, last Republican mayor, 53 years ago, 1971. Dayton, Ohio, 2002, 22 years ago. Cleveland, Ohio, 1989, 35 years ago. Detroit, Michigan's last Republican mayor was 62 years ago, 1962. So how are the Republicans responsible for y'all being broke? And I also wanted to break down in terms of how they got here on this. Hold on, I had to, and the link to this is in the description of this this live stream, by the way. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me see if I have it. Hopefully I have it. I still have it pulled up. Well, if I don't, I'd have it. I should have it pasted in the notes here. There we go. Boom. All right. So I just wanted to let y'all know how they got to this data. So here we go. So defining poverty. Oh, come on. Advertisements. I don't have time for advertisements. I understand y'all got to pay bills, but y'all got to do a better job. Poverty in the United States is set by the poverty threshold, which is a government set estimate of the point below which a household of a given size has a pre-tax income insufficient to meet basic needs. The poverty threshold for a family of 4 is $25,700. According to the U.S. Census, the poverty rate in 2018 was 11.8%. That's an estimated 38.1 million people. Now, the methodology of this, to measure which cities in the United States are the poorest, data, however you want to say it, from the United States Census from 2013 to 2017 was pulled. 3 factors were considered: the number of residents living in poverty, income rank, and the percentage of the population that is unemployed. The 293 largest cities in the United States with populations over 100,000 were evaluated. So of 293, these 10 are the worst. Now, Detroit is very interesting because according to the data, Detroit is the poorest city in the United States with a median income of $27,838. The poverty rate in Detroit is 37.9 and the unemployment rate is 19.8%, the highest of anywhere else in the nation and more than 5 times higher than the national unemployment rate. Urban renewal, highway construction, and discriminatory loan policies have contributed to the migration to the suburbs, leaving a poor population and contributing to a loss of revenue for the city. The median income on the list is $37,118. For comparison, the median income in the United States was $63,179 in the year 2018. Democrat ran, Democrat run, liberal policies, liberal people governing. And that's the result you get from that. So when you hear boneheads, well, red states are the poorest. No, because this is why I like to break down data and figure out in the nitty gritty, in the weeds, where the information comes from. It is not the fact that the governor might be a Republican, it's the fact that your local leaderships are Democrats. The people who claim to be your friends, as Malcolm X said, right? These are the people who claim to be the homie. These your people. These are the people who claim they're helping you. They want to be a source of support. But this is what they actually think of you.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
Governor Hochul, we didn't hear you.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
They don't know these things. This is what she really thinks of y'all. I know she came back and apologized later. That's only because she had to apologize to save face. She didn't give a damn about that apology. These are her real thoughts. Y'all are poor animals who don't even know what the word computer is. I would say the other word, but I'm trying to clean up the channel. YouTube don't like too many N words. Basically, she's calling you a bunch of bottom feeders. She has no intention of helping you. If there was an intention to help you, y'all would have been helped already, right? Y'all sitting there with your hand out like African children with the big stomachs who ain't eaten 3 years, instead of acting like free men in 2025 who can get this shit done. But no, we're going to wait for the government. We need more Democrats. We need more social programs. No, you need less social programs. You need effective social programs that are actually there when you need them and give you a time limit to get your shit together. Now, I'm not talking about people who are permanently disabled, and I'm not talking about the elderly. That's a totally different conversation. I'm talking about able-bodied people out here fucking and sucking, having children, and then you want taxpayers to subsidize your life choices. There should be a limit on housing projects. There should be a limit on Section 8. There should be a limit on food stamps. And there should also be an actual, see, if this is where you know Democrats don't give a damn about you. If Democrats gave a damn about you, there would be an effective way to get you off of social programs. But no, it's like a drug. It's like a hit. It's codependent. And if you make $1 over that threshold, you are stripped from it. So now you're scared to lose everything because now you'll be out on the streets, right? Right. But if there was an actual responsible way to wean people off social programs, able-bodied people, why haven't Democrats done that yet? Now y'all mad at RFK and y'all mad at the Trump administration because y'all can't get crab legs with EBT no more. You should never have been able to. Social programs, the projects, Section 8, all of those programs are they should be temporary. It shouldn't be a default. And it should not be something you depend on your whole life and you pass down like it's an heirloom, like it's a rite of passage. No, that's your real oppression right there. That's what's controlling you. That's what makes you feel like the world is on your shoulders. That's what makes you feel like you can never succeed. But you got to give it up. If you don't give it up, it just continue to cycle. These ghettos, these cities, all of these cities I read off, the poorest cities in America, all Democrat ran. All of them, all 10 of them. Now let's get to the most dangerous cities in America. Number 10. Oh, actually, I did 11 because I wanted to put this one here just to be petty. Minneapolis, Minnesota comes in at number 11. Number 10, Denver, Colorado. Number 9, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Number 8, Kansas City, Missouri. Number 7, Cleveland, Ohio. Number 6, New Orleans, Louisiana. Number 5, Little Rock, Arkansas. Number 4, Birmingham, Alabama. Number 3, Detroit, which was the poorest city on the other list. Number 2, St. Louis, Missouri. Because I know St. Louis has 2 sides, but I'm pretty sure the Kansas side ain't much better. And number 1, Memphis, Tennessee. Now, we all know my feelings on Memphis. I've been there one time, and that'll probably be the only time I ever go to Memphis. I'm generally not easily shook, and I don't mind being in the hood. I pretty much know how to carry myself. Yo, I know my light did not go out again, bro. Hold on, y'all. Give me a moment. Watch a video. Oh, wait a minute. Why is this light dying faster and faster? Probably because I'm using it more. That's probably why. I need to go turn on the ring light. So hold on. Let me give y'all a little entertainment. We'll watch the white liberals talk again. Actually, no, I have another video for y'all. We can parlay while I go get my lighting situation together. That's crazy. I didn't know this light would die that quickly. Again. All right. Roll it.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You're looking at live pictures there of Democrats on Capitol Hill taking a knee. We believe it's going to last for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That is the duration of the time Officer Derek Chauvin had his knee on the neck of George Floyd in Minneapolis. You see there both Senator Chuck Schumer, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and other members of Congress taking a knee. We're going to keep an eye on that for you as well as that news conference gets underway. They're expected to introduce new sweeping legislation for police reforms in this country.
Ooh, yeah. Well, now we got the ring light. All right, cool. Yo, that's crazy. My bad, y'all. I have no idea what they said, but I know this was about George Floyd. So that's what liberals offer y'all. Performative. So the most dangerous cities in America, the top 10, all Democrat ran. Democrat, 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 Democrat. That's all your homies. No, very few, if any, Republicans involved in that. So if all your homies have oversaw your failure for 60 years, how many more decades do you give them? How many more years? How many minutes do you give them? Political maturity, people. Please tune in next week to Trifecta Hour. We will have a very special Malcolm X episode. So hopefully y'all tune in next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Trifecta Hour. Subscribe to Trifecta Hour if you haven't done so already. So now you got your liberal Democrat homies. These y'all people. They're governing the 10 poorest cities in this country. They're also governing the 11 worst cities, the most dangerous cities in this country. So you tell me where Malcolm X was wrong, and you tell me what everything that I say is wrong. Y'all waiting for a savior. I'm not. I knew from the moment I saw them people across the street with stuff that I was never, there was no way in hell I was going to be an adult living in the projects. Why am I settling for scraps when I don't have to? I can read, I can write, I can comprehend. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to challenge things, and I'm not afraid to take risks. But I'm the problem. I'm the bootlegger, Sambo, Uncle Tom, tap dancing for the white man. Meanwhile, y'all the ones tap dancing for the white man. Tap dancing for these white liberals who throw you scraps. These same white liberals who talk about, you think Governor Hochul, you think New York Governor Hochul, she invite your black ass for dinner? No. She talks about you over there like you're an insignificant problem. Why? Because she knows your dumb black ass is going to vote for her regardless. She don't have to earn your vote. And that's why Democrats, and then Malcolm X also spoke of him, of Democrats putting black people in front of you to dupe you. Barack Obama duped the hell out of y'all, didn't he? Oh, the first black president, everybody so happy. Yeah. The first black female is, the first black female is, the first black male is, the first black is, the better. And all of these mayors who were, of course, all Democrat, all following the formula because they're all bought and sold. But AJ's the issue. No. AJ ain't the problem. Your mentality is the problem. Your approach to life is the problem. You being uncoachable is the problem. You being unteachable is the problem. You making excuses is the problem. You procrastinating is a problem. You being fat is the problem. You being a slave to the healthcare system is the problem. That ain't got nothing to do with AJ. Because once I got clear on what the real issues were, I moved different. I made different choices. Did I always get it right? Absolutely not. But I'm not afraid to fail. And I don't blame failure on the color of my skin. Okay, what worked? What didn't work? Do this next time. Don't do that next time. Trust these people. Don't trust these people. That's it. That is it. You live, you learn, you move on. Y'all live, learn, rinse, repeat. The same damn thing. Live, learn, fail, make excuses, wallow in despair, make excuses, wallow in despair. Open your legs up before you're married, have children you don't want or don't need, and then you blame everybody else. What was it? Diane Carroll? She told this story of how her mother and her father drove her to her grandparents' house because they couldn't afford to take care of her, so they drove her there. But the messed up part is they didn't tell her that they were leaving her there. So she woke up and they were gone. And she was like, "Where's my mother? Like, where's my mother? Like, what's going on here?" You know. And she said she had a friend who would say, "Well, how many times you going to tell this sob story? How many times you going to tell the same sob story? When are you going to let it go? When are we going to get to the place where I no longer have to hear this story?" We all got something we could sit in. Some trauma, some hurt, something that didn't work out. We all got something. We could sit there. Somebody called me the N-word. It ruined my day. Why? Your perception of me is not my perception of me. And number two, I'm not the N-word. I wish I could say it. I mean, I can, but there might be repercussions. Mental slavery. That's another one I get. So let's unpack mental slavery right quick, because it's very fascinating to me. Sorry, I love to read. Mental slavery, as used by figures like Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther King Jr., refers to the state of being mentally controlled or oppressed by something internal, often a fear or a mindset that prevents one from achieving true freedom. Does that sound like AJ? Does that sound like me? Okay. It's a form of self-imposed bondage where one's thoughts and beliefs limit their ability to act and think for themselves. Does that sound like AJ? Does that sound like the average Black conservative? And I'm not talking about the social media grifters. I'm talking about the real ones. Here's some elaboration for those who didn't catch it. Self-imposed control. Mental slavery is not about being physically enslaved, but rather about being controlled by one's own beliefs, fears, or conditioning. That is the projects. That is Section 8 housing. That is the welfare state in general. That is the mentality they want to keep y'all in. They want to keep y'all fighting in the airports and acting like animals at bars and clubs and tearing up your own neighborhoods. That's y'all, not AJ. Examples. This could include being trapped by self-doubt, limiting beliefs about oneself or others, or being overly influenced by external forces that don't align with one's values. I've been Black all my days. I know how many of the Black people I have encountered feel about LGBT stuff, but they can't say it. Oh, we ain't ready. We ain't ready, dog. We ain't ready. But y'all keep supporting candidates that are imposing lifestyles on your children. And the reason why they're going after your children is because they don't want them to grow up with any sense of with any limits, and want them to accept everything before their eyes. And that's where parenting comes in. And that's where showing up at the school board comes in. And that's where not voting by default comes in. Because when you have your Democrat mayors running your dangerous cities and your violent cities and your broke ass cities, and they're installing the damn police chief and the fire chief and the and the city council, when your alderman who's supposed to be advocating for you isn't advocating for you, and y'all sitting up here talking about who the president is. Most of you don't even know what damn congressional district you live in. Most of you haven't even read your state's constitution. Some of you probably just found out your state has a constitution. These people are not controlling you through social issues. They're controlling you through the law. And you don't have to be a lawyer to understand what the hell they're doing. Doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. Contrast with physical freedom. Even if physically free, someone can still be mentally enslaved. This is the core concept of the term, as highlighted by King, who noted that while others might free the body, only the individual can free the mind. So how am I required to think and believe and save and move and vote and do all the things that every other black person or every person who looks like me, we supposed to do everything the same. We all got the same experiences, the same trauma, the same beliefs, the same religion, the same everything we do the same, right? No, we don't. Implications. Mental slavery can lead to a lack of personal autonomy, self-esteem issues, and difficulty in achieving one's potential. All of the stuff I just spoke about. Y'all allow these white liberals to run amok. And now you're so in deep, I don't know how y'all gonna get out of it. Y'all better start making plans. Start making them plans, baby. Fire the government. That is your first assignment. And by fire the government, I mean, if you are collecting checks from the government and you are able-bodied, fire the government. Start your exit plan now. Again, I'm not talking about disabled people and I'm not talking about elderly people. Able-bodied people sitting in government subsidized housing right now. I'm talking to y'all. The government's not going to give you a way out because they need to keep you dependent. It's like the pimp and the hoe. He's going to give her just enough. Not enough for her to get off the streets, just enough to do basic life stuff. And then he keeps the lion's share of it, right? The money. And so now you out of money. So you got to get your ass back out on the street. Embarrassing yourself. Opening yourself up to all types of STIs and traumas. Yeah, but we ain't ready for that conversation. We ain't ready for it. Fire the government. Know the last date you're going to accept that Section 8 voucher. Know that right now. Know the last day you're going to accept that refill on that EBT card. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa. I don't have to know it. You have to know it. Because guess what? The government don't care. They need to keep you dependent. And as long as you sitting there collecting, they control your ass. As long as you under their roof, remember your mother used to say, "Now you under my roof," only to find out that wasn't my mama's roof. That was the government's roof. If the government decided tomorrow that it was going to sell that land and throw our asses out, they could have. They didn't have to negotiate with us. We're just pawns in the experience. And I'm pretty sure there was clauses in the lease that said that. You're in the driver's seat of your life. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to make it happen for you. You got to do it. Yes, it's easier said than done, but I would rather be 80 years old telling my grandchildren, yeah, grandpa ain't rich, but grandpa wasn't out here being subservient either. Something like that. In my mind, that's how it's gonna work. Stop playing in my face, people. Stop letting these white liberals play in your face. These people are not your friends. They're not your homies. They're not the person you should be supporting, backing up, unless they're earning your vote. Democrats don't have to earn your vote. That's why they don't fight for it. Kamala Harris had to fight because you know damn well initially there was no real plan to do black press and all that stuff. She don't have to do it. Remember when I forgot who it was. She worked with Michelle Obama, and they talked about, how where Michelle was going to go to campaign for Barack, and she started pointing to predominantly black areas, and Michelle was like, "Oh no, we don't have to go there. We already have that." Why would Michelle Obama thinks that her husband has it in the bag? Because she knows how dumb y'all are. I'm gonna just say it straight up. She knows how dumb and emotional, because y'all living in reverence, right? You're not living in results and reality. You're living in image. He's a brown president. Oh my God. Not realizing they're selling you an African man, not a black American man, but an African man. But y'all so wrapped up in skin color that you didn't realize the okey doke. And a lot of y'all still don't. It's not about skin color. It's about who's going to do the damn work. Who's going to earn your vote. That's what it's about. Kamala Harris was pissed that she had to do all that black press. Barack Obama was pissed that he had to go fight black men to go vote for her. I want to talk to the brothers right quick. Yeah, talk about a man who you need to vote for Kamala. Meanwhile, the average black man is like, I don't want a woman leading me. And it's a damn shame more didn't have the balls to go vote for who they wanted to vote for. Oh, I gotta do, I want to vote against the grain. I want to be on the wrong side of history. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. Because that wrong side of history shit is short term. It's short term. I like John James. I understand people want to grow in their careers, but I wish he had stayed in Congress a little longer before he decided to pop that move. But I get it. People want to, move on with their careers, like Byron Donalds too, running for Florida. I think he has a chance. It just depends on his team, depends on his message. Hopefully he has an effective message for the, what do y'all call the Michigandans? Is that what y'all call the Michigandans? For the Michigandans. But I hope he wins. I mean, I was hoping, because he ran for something before that. Was it Senate? Before he became a congressman, he ran for something else in Michigan, but he didn't win that race. But he stayed in it. See what I'm saying? Did John James go home and say, "Oh, I'm a black man. They wasn't feeling me. I didn't win, sir. I'ma just go work at Home Depot." No, he tried another lane. It worked. He was able to get elected to Congress. He got in. Now he wants to be the governor of Michigan. Now, considering the way Michigan votes and all of these broke cities and towns in Michigan, I don't know. Hopefully the people are fed up enough. But like I said at the top, we are more than just the color of our skin, bro. You got to stop this. This historical hurt, civil rights, Jim Crow, slavery, black codes, lynching. We're more than all of that. Our ancestors made the ultimate sacrifice so we could have it pretty damn good these days. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have any gripes and no issues, but the point is you're not solutionary on top of having gripes and issues. You got to have gripes and issues and solutions. And then you got to walk out those solutions, even if they're difficult, even if the decision to make these decisions, even if the decision is difficult, you got to make the decision. That's true leadership. That's boss shit right there. Sitting here making excuses, wallowing in despair. No, woe is me. Oh, I don't understand. I'm not interested. Y'all have done that for 60 years. How many generations is in 60 years? That's what, 3, 5 generations, depending on the family? Time to move on. Time to get it together. Fire the government from your neighborhoods. I understand why that's such a hard concept. I don't get it. These white liberals don't care. They just want control. And I'm going to run that home until you get it. I'm going to play it again. One more time before I roll up out of here. Does this sound like a person
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
Now, she said that in public. You could only imagine what she's saying in private. Oh, yeah. That's y'all homie. That's what they think of y'all. And then they hire the black ones to do it worse, because now they look like you, and then they selling you the shuck and jive. They selling you the slavery talk. They in their churches now, Conservative values are, it's hard to find a conservative church on YouTube. You can find all these liberal ones where they're wilding out and doing all kinds of crazy things and great lighting and all types of theatrics, void of the word of God. Fire the government and get back to God. But y'all don't hear me. But you can't say nobody didn't tell you. White liberals are your enemy. Your friend with all the power, people in Springfield, Massachusetts, Birmingham, Alabama, Syracuse, New York, Jackson, Mississippi, Newark, New Jersey, Rochester, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Dayton, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan. Yo, Democrat, that's how you know they're not your friends. Look at the fruit. The fruit is rotten. Most dangerous cities: Minneapolis, Denver, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Kansas City, Missouri, Cleveland, Ohio, New Orleans, Little Rock, Arkansas, Birmingham, Alabama, Detroit, Michigan, St. Louis, Missouri, Memphis, Tennessee. All Democrat ran. Top 10. And who's the biggest concentration in most of these cities? Your black asses. And you keep doing it by default. At this point, it is not their fault. They're getting what they want. And what they want is control. They have mentally enslaved y'all. I went over the meaning of mental enslavement. I broke it down. I even did elaborations on it. So what you gonna do now? Now that you have the knowledge, you got the game, what you gonna do now? You gonna make difficult decisions, or you gonna keep wallowing in excuses? You're in the driver's seat, so you choose how you want this to play out. It's a sad, sad state of affairs. I played a clip from Malcolm X in the 60s, literally putting y'all on the game, and y'all still went down the road of stupidity, political immaturity. Y'all still went down the road of more government control. My family was one of the stupid families on my mother's side who moved from the South to the North looking for a better life and ended up on bread lines and in the projects. How many thousands of black families have the same story where you owned your stuff in the South, but because of segregation and racism and Jim Crow laws, we moved up north for a better life, only to end up controlled, by the government, complaining about the same stuff for 6+ decades. To quote Shanae and Martin, it's on you. So what you gonna do? Hey. It's on you. So what y'all gonna do at this point? If you just coming in, go back. I read up everything. I've literally proven that white liberals are not the homie. They are not your people. And I've given you some solutions on how to break away from it. I don't know what else you want from AJ. I ain't got it. I put you on. Oh, here's the other thing. One more thing. Denver actually surprised me. And then I looked in Cajun. Denver did surprise me. And then I looked into the political history of Denver. So I see why Denver is the way it is. I would have never thought Denver would be a dangerous city either, especially like one of the top dangerous cities. There's always going to be some crime. I get that, but y'all wilding out. And then making excuses for the wilding out. You wilding out. The choice is yours. Whose world is this? The world is yours. So I'm not the one that's mentally enslaved. I'm not the bootlicker, Sambo, tap dancer for the white man. That's y'all. The white man got y'all tap dancing every day because he owns you. He owns your minds. He owns your homes. AJ minding his business. It's white liberal fatigue, which is a symptom. Black fatigue is a symptom of white liberal fatigue. Because you gotta nip the power to get people to wake up. White liberals don't want y'all to wake. Y'all heard what the governor said? Y'all don't even know how to spell computer. Y'all heard what them white, oh, hold on, I'm a play. I gotta go, but I'm gonna do this one more time for y'all. Because I really need to drive this home. Because I've talked about this so much. And it just seems to it's not just nice words. This is shit you gotta live. You gotta be intentional. You gotta go out here and compete. You gotta beast out. You have the world. We all, most of us have at least one $2,000 device in our hand most of the day. And you up here talk about you oppressed, where you can literally type anything in that phone. I could type anything in that phone and be led to solutions and information. And I'm sitting here making excuses. I'm up here talking about white supremacy. I'm up here talking about oppression, systemic racism. Get the fuck out of here with that. I think if our ancestors, we could raise them up from the dead and they come see how we live today, they'd be like, wow. And the only thing you should say to them is thank you. Not, oh, we oppressed today. Oh my God, look at it. Oh my God. No, it's on you. Your oppression is your fault at this point. You living in Swallow, that's your fault. You ain't got no mission, no vision, no life plan, but you know how to open your legs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know how to be sexually active, but you can't read. That's the problem. You know how to be sexually active, but you don't know how to get up and be an upstarter and make legit money. So yeah, I'm gonna play this one more time for y'all.
What opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
That's what they think of y'all people. The ones you think are your friends and the ones who aren't. That's what they think of you. So now that you're working with this baseline, you know, they think y'all are sheltered animals who can't figure out anything without them. Cut them loose. Empower yourself. We are in the information age. We have information at our fingertips. We have an access like no one's had access before. So there's very few excuses I will accept at this point.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described.
What ID? What's the special ID you need to vote? You need a state ID. Before I had a driver's license, I had a state ID at 16 years old. I'm from the projects. I'm not from privilege. In fact, we were told to make sure we had our ID on us when we left the house. In case something happened, in case you know, God forbid, you get hit by a car, there's an accident on the subway or something happens, people can identify you. So where are they getting these concepts? These are the follow-up questions I have for people like this. Where'd you get this information? And then for Black people, what's even crazier is for Black people to co-sign the bullshit. Well, yeah, we ain't got ID. Knowing damn well. Remember when Wesley Hunt, I love Wesley Hunt. He was on the House floor. He showed like all his forms of ID. He's in there like, what are you talking about? You got to have ID for all them government programs y'all love. Hell, you got to have ID to go into liquor stores outside of your neighborhood usually. If you get on airplanes, you got to have ID. I don't know about the Greyhound bus. I don't know how that works, but whatever. But for most things in life, you have to have some form of identification. Yes, says the British guy.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to
Y'all don't live in areas with easy access, and y'all broke as fuck, so you can't go to the DMV anyway,
DMVs
right?
or other places where they can get identification.
We can't get ID.
Do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for Black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Oh, goat cheese and bread. And these are the people y'all cast y'all votes for. These are the people y'all will allow to call me every racial epithet in the book, right? These y'all homies, right? Y'all top 10, right? Top 10 worst, top 10 poorest, right? Top 10 most dangerous. This y'all people.
That's harder for Black people to go online.
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
Are these people punking us? Are they punking us? I think they punking us. It's got to be a skip. In the most densely populated cities, there are multiple DMVs. And I remember when Candace Owens debated that idiot from Black Lives Matter, Hawk Newsom, when she had her first podcast. and they went on they got on the subject of identification, and he sat there and said, well, most black people don't have identity. You are literally buying into this bullshit, Hawk. You literally gonna sit here in good faith and tell me that most black people, most poor people, period, don't have identification? Stop playing in my face. And then in some instances, states made the damn ID, just the ID, free. So now the ID is free, but now y'all too stupid to get on the internet. Meanwhile, y'all on Facebook Live fighting with your boyfriends and your girlfriends. Y'all in about a bunch of nothing all day. But AJ can only get 28 motherfucking people in this live stream to put y'all on the game. Priorities. Priorities. It's you. It's not them. It's you.
A lot of people have smartphones,
Now
but
we
you
don't
don't
have
have data.
We don't have data, y'all. When's the last time I had a data controlled plan? Never. I've always had unlimited everything. Everyone I know has always had unlimited everything.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or like they're not
I
informed.
want to ask Sally here. How many times have you been to the hood, Sally? I could answer it for her. 0. And if she ever did, it would be with a camera crew and security.
I also think there's a repression of like black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, like you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the like African Americans.
I heard what she said, right? So now convicted felon is only black people. Although only about 1% of the 13% of black people actually commit crimes and are incarcerated. But we got a felon issue. I'm using their words. And it depends on the state. Some states you can get your rights back. You can get the right to vote back, depending on what state you live in. Some states it's a little more difficult, some states not at all. But it depends on where you live. And you have to know the constitution of your state and the laws through which they govern your state. A felon thing is not just black people. If a white person commits a crime in the same damn state, they'll be subjected to the same damn punishment. They ain't voting either.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No.
Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie.
These people, I bet you overwhelming majority of these people vote Democrat, register Democrats, Democrat everything, vote blue no matter who. Oh, representation. Oh, they look like us. Oh, if I cried when I saw the black person. It. Hmm. 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 Aren't y'all tired? Because I'm not offended because this don't apply to me, but I can literally. What pisses these people off the most is when you ask them follow-up questions, because you know AJ is good for a follow-up question. I'm good for a follow-up question. Yeah, so how did you reach that conclusion? That I'm too stupid, too poor, too dumb. I have no data. I don't know where the DMV is. How did you reach that conclusion? How? Where's the data that supports what you're saying? And they don't have any. Now you have some dumb blacks who will sit there and say, yeah, woe is me. You're not victims. You're not helpless animals. You're not subhumans. You just got to get out of your own way. You got to get out of the trap that the color of your skin is bondage. Mental bondage is you. That's a choice you're making. And until you're aware of it, you can't change it. I already put y'all on the game. I gave y'all a lot of information today. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me rant for an hour, 20 minutes. I'm kind of liking these noontime chats of ours. Do we like the noontime chats? I kind of like the noontime chats. I think we'll continue these. And then we have new episodes of my podcast, The Rant Experience. That's every Monday. Make sure, if you have not done so already, support my merch store, ajsrantroom.com. That is my merch store, ajsrantroom.com. We have 10 new shirts that are dropping on Monday. So hopefully you'll support them. I'm excited. I had fun creating this smaller collection. I couldn't really wow out like I wanted to because time is of the essence. I'm a one-man band, y'all. So forgive a brother. But that's ajsrantroom.com. That's how you support the channel. We're not monetized here yet. So in the meantime, this is how you can support the channel directly. Also, make sure you support me on my socials. These are all my socials. These are the four main ones. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment and share this current live stream. And then also go back and share my actual page. And then also follow me on X and Instagram and the TikTok. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and listening to me rant about these white liberals. Once again, they ain't your homie. Let it go and be with God. I appreciate y'all. Have a good day. Peace out. Woo!